Good evening and welcome to the Final Word Phone-In with me, Majestic, alongside the experienced Premier League manager and star of the small screen when it comes to adverts, Mr. Alan Pardew. We've just seen a pulsating game at Anfield in which Manchester United rolled back the years to pick up a huge win at Anfield. Liverpool lost for the fourth time in a row. Doesn't sound very Liverpool-like, does it? That win puts Manchester United 2 points behind the defending champions, who are now 4 points behind Arsenal in the title race. Liverpool fans, the phone lines are now open for you on 03 717 22 3344. What is going on with your club as you sink to another defeat? What's going wrong at Anfield? And Man United fans, come and celebrate with us. Are you now Team Amorim? We have so many people that have in the early kickoff. I was there. Spurs' horrible home form continued as Aston Villa came from behind to take all 3 points. Stand by, Spurs fans. We're going to be getting stuck into that later. And remember, talkSPORT is bigger than ever. You can watch us in HD because we're on YouTube and your smart TVs. So come and watch us right now from the 17th floor of the News UK building in London. But now it's all about you and your views. Call us right now, 03 717 22 3344, where Man United win back-to-back Premier League games for the first time in ages. That guy might cut his hair soon. And it's good to be back on a Sunday evening with my brother from another mother, Mr. Alan Pardew. How are we, Gaffer?
I'm very well, Madge.
I missed you last week.
Yeah, I missed you too.
I was in the...
We was here, though, me and Natalie.
I know. I was watching you from my beefer.
Yeah.
I was in the booth. I put it on and checking everything's okay. It was all fine. How's your weekend been, first and foremost?
Well, yeah, it's been great. I've been away for a little bit, but I come back today to go and visit my cousin, Terry Arnold, who's in Guy's Hospital, and he's struggling a little bit with the old big C. So he's having a tough old time. But I wanted to say well done to him because good spirits high, and all the staff at Guy's Hospital in London. Brilliant. They've
done a fantastic job there.
Absolutely.
And local to the studio as well. So.
Yeah, just around the corner, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was at the game earlier today for Spurs Villa.
Yes.
Got my son there.
And the home form continues
to be very disappointing indeed.
Even though the manager has changed.
Even though the manager's changed. Managers changing all over the place this weekend.
It's definitely a theme.
03717 22 3344. Remember, that is the number to call us. I also bumped into one of our listeners.
Go on.
At the Spurs ground, Angry Matt.
Angry Matt?
Angry Matt is his name.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that a little later on because I've had some fiery exchanges with Angry Matt. Yeah.
Most people I meet in the street think the show's brilliant.
Well, me and Angry Matt have had some fiery exchanges. We'll show you, as there's video evidence to what went down when me and Angry Matt clashed outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's coming on later on, but we have to doff our cap to Ruben Amorim. Yes. Someone who's not losing his job this weekend.
Yes.
Here we are, mate. He won't be losing his job this weekend because that is a fantastic win for Manchester United, rolling back the years. And the big man, once again, you cannot tell me that Harry Maguire is not a big game player because he turns up, mate. He turns up, that guy, doesn't he?
Well, first and foremost, the team selection for Amorim, I thought was spot on today. That Cunha and Bubo kind of partnership. One's playing through the middle, one's playing on the right. Then they change over. That was quite a conundrum that Liverpool couldn't quite work out. The energy was good. The midfield was stable, even though Fernandes is playing that. Fernandes playing that number 8 role. So I just thought it was an excellent performance and well deserved. Although Liverpool pushed, and also with their makeup at the end, we have some talking points.
Yeah,
all the attacking players, which created an equaliser, but made them very vulnerable to a second goal, and then they conceded.
Absolutely, we got Liverpool fans galore ready to come and join us. Let's head straight over to Sean, who is a Liverpool fan. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening. How are we?
Bad for me as well. Bad for you. Both of us losing at home today. So let's.
Please don't. Can I just start off saying I hope everything's all right, Andrew, and hospital can be a terrible thing. So I hope everything's all right.
Oh, that's very, very kind of you. So Sean. Listen, what went wrong with Liverpool today? What's going wrong? Where's the champions?
What went right with Liverpool? What went right with Liverpool? From the off, we conceded 62 seconds in, and it was obvious. And I'd like to say Alisson would have saved that shot, but you can't guarantee it, can you? Let's be honest. But we look like we're trying to win the headers, trying to win the second balls, trying to. We just looks like we're trying. Nothing seems like we have the desire right now. It doesn't feel as a Liverpool fan that they're leaving everything out on the pitch. I know that might be different for Liverpool fans, and everyone might think differently, but right now,
well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. At the start of that game, Man United's desire was hotter. You know, they were more aggressive. They were fast. Van Dijk,
they had their heart in it, didn't they?
Van Dijk looked all over the shop for at least 28 minutes. He wasn't sure to go tight, drop off. His combination with Conte was off, at sort of not level. So there was gaps between them, and Man United exploited it. They could have had a second, actually, Man United.
They could have been 4-0 up after 35 minutes. When they hit the post, and Majestic really saves it. It was so poor. And I really thought, John, we haven't lost 4 games on the bounce for about 30 years, I think. I saw a stat earlier. It could be wrong. United haven't won 2 games on the bounce for nearly a year.
Well, look at that guy's hair on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen his hair, Sean. That geezer's growing his hair until Man United win 5 back-to-back games. He's almost there.
He's nearly there. And I liked his locks as well. I thought they looked good.
I mean, what's scary is that, Liverpool lost 3 games. It's not the end of October, and it took them 34 games last year. So that does make you concerned for the league title when you got that stat against your name.
Absolutely.
I love watching football, so I watch all the City games that I can, obviously, with 3 p.m. blackouts, and I watch all the Arsenal games I can, and they look so much better than us. They look like a team. They look coherent. They just look like they gel. We look, even though I was happy to see Slot put the same middle 3 together with Maka, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, like we did last season, thinking, we'll go back to the roots.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't work. And I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's the tactics or the new fullbacks, but Bradley played last season. Something's going wrong. Something has to change. And I can't tell you what it has to be, but it doesn't look coherent. Nothing feels right now.
You're absolutely right. Great call from Sean there. Lots of Liverpool fans are ready to get through to us. Pards, what's your assessment of the game then, Pards, just quickly before we have a short pause?
Yeah, well, I was surprised, firstly, at Liverpool's lack of kind of potency. Mm-hmm. For sort of 60 minutes, I was thinking there would be a bit more Salah, a bit more energy. Fernandes might get a few nice passes. Certainly a bit more from Isaac. So it seemed like it wasn't sort of working. Kirkes, again, for me, struggling in the shirt a little bit. I just thought it was okay, but not great. And then, of course, I think
there's a blatant Trent-sized hole missing in that Liverpool team. And again, even watching Spurs today with Aston Villa with their bit of brilliance from Matty Cash, that ball over to win the game.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable pass.
I said it to you off air. I am missing the art of passing in the Premier League and the way that they can just open up teams and that's what Liverpool had as always a backup plan. If they couldn't make something happen out of nowhere, there's a ball through to Salah, whoever else. I just think we're really missing that.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying because one of the strengths of Liverpool, particularly when you're going there as a manager and as a team to defend them, is their just quick interplay.
Yeah.
And it's that quick interplay that opens something up. And they didn't really have that today. They had it a little bit towards the end when they had 4 or 5, they had about 6 or 7 strikers on in the end, which made them a little bit indisciplined and probably cost them a second goal, actually. But, there was moments when they sort of cut through Man United. But Man United stuck to the task. You can't say that Man United didn't put their bodies on the line for the club today. Defended with real spirit and heart, didn't they? They slashed at a few balls because there was panicking a bit. But a great performance from Man United. I'm very, very pleased for Amorim, really am.
What a day of football it's been at Anfield. Didn't disappoint, and it could be a huge result come the end of the season. The Manchester United handed Liverpool their 4th defeat in a row. So the phone lines are now open for you right now, 03717 22 3344. Come and vent or celebrate with us, and we'll hear from you next on The Final Word here on talkSPORT. Keeping it funky on a Sunday night, Pards.
Everybody's in the house, mate.
We're all in the house. Everyone's here. Imagine Pards. Welcome back to the Final Word Phone-In here on talkSPORT. And so you know, I'm in Alan Pardew's world of sport. I'm bringing him into my world of music because, Pards, during the show tonight, I'm going to play you 4 tracks from the debut EP of my new record label.
Of which this must be the first.
This is the first song. It is by me, Majestic. It's called People in the House.
Oh, I like it.
Bit of an IB for dance floor banger, this one.
Yeah.
Called People in the House.
People in the house.
Yeah, that's me on the vocal. Everybody's in the house.
With your deep tones.
Yeah, with my deeper tones.
Yeah, that sound good.
Are you liking this one?
No, I like that. It's good. Good beat to it, yeah.
Nice. So that's Pardew approved. We're doing the Pardew approved playlist tonight. People in the House, the first record of Reset the Dance Floor, the EP on my new label.
I like that name.
Yeah.
Reset
the Dance Floor. If you'd like to find out more, make sure you give me an X at Majestic Online. Let's get back to the football, though, because lots of Liverpool fans involved so far on 0371722 3344. Let's go to Marcus. He's a Liverpool fan. Good evening, Marcus.
Hey, guys. How are we?
Yeah, very well, mate.
Yeah, good.
4 defeats on the bounce. It's not like Liverpool, is it?
It's beyond Liverpool, and it's shocking. And as much as I can say is we've made too many changes. Yeah, Klopp has done amazing. He's won us that many trophies. Slot's come in and he's made all these changes. We don't have to play together. Salah has been absent beginning of the season. Ekitike has been playing amazing, but he doesn't play him. What does Chiesa have to do to start? When he comes in, when Verth came on, when Chiesa came on, I can't pronounce his name, sorry, Ekitike. He plays amazing. But I've never seen a Liverpool side so dysfunctional in my life. We look weak in the back, and then we look like we can't play as a team. It's worrying. And I can't even praise United because they didn't play that well. We just played that bad.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. You know, Man United's game plan worked very well, but it was the lack of Liverpool's prowess that we're so used to. You used a great word, potency, Pards.
Yeah, but also what they're lacking is, you know, one of the great strengths of Liverpool, particularly at home, is rhythm. They get kind of a rhythm of how they're playing. It goes through that midfield. Garenbridge gets on it. They start switching the play. It goes through the lines, and then that front three explode into your back four. And that's not happening. It's all a little bit kind of misjointed. And I understand that when you're saying about the changes. And, you know, one thing that I'm kind of struggling with a little bit is the fullback situations. Obviously, forget about Trent for a minute, but you've got the boys played for Scotland this week, absolutely brilliant. Doesn't get a game today. Kirkes plays. I'm not so sure.
I don't get it. Personally, I wouldn't even start with Kirkes. Yeah. I was standing with Robbo. He's been strong. I wouldn't start with Salah. And I hate the way we've got to be loyal to our big stars, but at the end of the day, if they're not performing, you don't play them. And then you've got this wonder kid, Rio, who's got so much potential. Give him more time.
The boy who scored early on in the season, right, the first game, yeah. But they, Yeah, I mean, Salah is a worry because, his record against United is like probably second to none. He loves scoring against them, so I can see why he started him, but he does look short of confidence, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's not getting on board. And then what I've discovered, he's not, it's like, unless he gets the ball to his feet in front of the goal, he's not he's not coming back. He's not challenging the ball. And the same with Isak. He's like, okay, our striker's meant to be on the front foot just in case it happens, but we're struggling at the back. I expect you to come back, put a challenge in, and work as a team. Like when we had Firmino, we had Mane, we had Salah, we had that gel, we had that chemistry. We haven't got that anymore. And maybe it's down to the too many changes. But then when we seen the startup line, I thought the first thing I thought of, well, why isn't Kaiser getting a game? We've paid all this money for these players, and okay. You can play all the money for you want in the players. It doesn't matter. If they don't gel, they don't gel. But then it's like with Klopp, have you ever known a team to make so many signings? In what I've never known Liverpool to do it.
Big signings, by the way. I mean, very big signings you've made. Two of the most expensive players in Europe this year. And, I can only assume that Wirtz didn't play because you got Frankfurt in the week. Going back to the Bundesliga, that might be a game to put him in and, give him a boost. So I could see why he perhaps didn't start him.
One thing I would say, and I'd be interested to see what Marcus thinks because he's a Liverpool fan, is the desperation to get Isak, right, at the end, sort of latter part of the summer transfer. Mate, I have such faith in Ekitike. He's already shown how good he is, I think. Right?
He was lively when he came on.
And he was lively when he came on. I think all of the energy and money should have been invested in getting Guéhi out of Palace. I know Palace fans will hate me for saying that, but I think the better buy would have been Guéhi.
Well, my feelings there, 100%. Guéhi improves Liverpool, definitely.
What do you reckon, Marcus? Would you prefer to have gone and got Guéhi rather than Isak, or are you happy with that?
No, I'm not happy because I remember, because obviously I listen to talkSPORT and everyone's going, oh yeah, Isak, when he comes, the league's ours. Isak hasn't done anything. The Geordies must be laughing their heads off.
Well, especially they got Volta, who's actually done really well coming in so far. That doesn't feel like a too big a loss. I just think the other thing that we have to take into account, and I've said it before, it's not an excuse, and, Liverpool can't use it, but from a human side of things, we're still grieving Diego Jota and his brother. That is going to affect those players' parts. Surely you can see that from a managerial point of view.
Well, it definitely, of course, is had an impact in that dressing room. I mean, in terms of Salah, he's been put out of joint by the attention Isak's got over this transfer. I don't know. That might be something in that. Obviously, the loss of Luiz to... is it Luiz?
Diaz, yeah.
Diaz, sorry. Diaz, who went to Munich, who's been brilliant, by the way. I think he created a goal yesterday. This Isak one, I just wonder whether this is going to mirror Torres. Remember when Torres went to Chelsea?
Yeah.
And we had, he was absolute phenomenon at Liverpool. And everyone thought when he goes to Chelsea, it will be
game over, yeah.
It'll be game over. And it just didn't kind of pan out. He obviously still won the Champions League medal. But in terms of, Isak, is he going to be the new player that we see at Newcastle, transferred to Liverpool, or are we going to see a different Isak? At the moment, obviously, he's probably not match fit, so it's a little bit unfair to judge him. But at the moment, slow start. That's how you have to say that. And Wirtz, of course.
And the other thing that you have to say after the weekend, you've got to look at the way that Arsenal battled to win that game at Fulham, which was really difficult. They found a way yet again. And, we've said it before, when Liverpool weren't playing well at the start of the season, and Arsenal played well, by the way, against Fulham, but Fulham were really difficult to break down. Arsenal got the job done, regardless. However it took, they got it done. And I've got the Ginger Cabbie listening right now, a good friend of mine, and he's an Arsenal fan. He'll be loving hearing a Spurs fan saying this. It's worrying to see how good Arsenal are.
Yeah, I met a few Arsenal fans this week. I've never heard them so positive that they feel they got a great chance. That was before today's result. They feel that all the tools are there. I mean, the boy, he still hasn't got enough goals yet. The big striker.
But you know what? Ironically, the way that the league's going this year and the way that football's being played, I don't think he's necessarily the reason why they're going to win the league. The reason why they will is because they're so solid defensively. They've got the likes of Trossard, who's I think they were looking to offload Trossard at one point. I think they were.
Well, I know for a fact that Palace were looking at maybe taking him.
Yeah, but I think
but they didn't want to.
No, the players they've got in their squad, they've got a great squad. And you know what? And we'll talk about this later on today because, of course, Villa beating Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium earlier on.
Well done, the Villa.
Yeah, up the villains. Is the fact that Premier League proven players and Arsenal have a squad full of them And that is how you go and win the league. And when I look over to Liverpool, I look at, say, you said Gyökeres already, right? I'm going to give you some names. Gyökeres, Xavi Simons, Wirtz. These are all players that came from outside the Premier League. They haven't started brilliantly. We know they're all good footballers, but the Premier League, you've managed in it.
Yeah,
it is the toughest league, isn't it?
Well, it's interesting because De Ligt did a really good interview in the Telegraph today, and he's won the Champions League. He's won, the title in Holland. He's won the title in Germany. He's won the title in Italy. And he said to me, "There's nothing." That's just his quotes. Nothing like the Premier League. There's no pace and power like there is here. We're constant. It's always coming at you. And even today, even in that game, you imagine how many times there were challenges and second balls to be won. That just doesn't happen in those leagues.
No.
You have control of the game. You're trying to find a way through. So, these players do need to adjust. And at the moment, as you say, and our caller was quite right, the changes at Liverpool have unsettled them. There's no doubt about that.
Agreed. Arsenal fans, we'd like to hear from you as well. 03717223344. Seeing that today from Liverpool, does that make you even more confident that this year, this is the year you're finally going to win the Premier League again after all these years? Manchester City fans, I watched Manchester City yesterday. Haaland, absolute beast. Are you going about your business quietly, just doing your thing in the background, knowing that at any given moment they can just go on a run and nobody can catch them? You never know. 03717223344. Never ever count out Manchester City from a title race, because for me, they're well in there. Them, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Bournemouth,
wow. man.
What a start they're having, eh?
What about you?
And they almost got over the line yesterday against Palace if it weren't for the big fella.
Guess what's on talkSPORT 2 tonight, Pards?
Go on, what is it? NFL?
NFL, actually, including the Panthers and the Jets, and then the 49ers taking on the Falcons. Keep your calls coming into us, though, on 03717223344. After a huge win for Manchester United, I'm sure Jill will be very happy with that, who lost for the fourth time in a row, Liverpool. Wow. Our last two callers are both concerned about Slot's tactics. Do you agree? And yes, Man United fans, will hear from you very soon as well. You can party all the way back to Manchester. Call us right now. You know that number. It's 03717223344. It's Majestic and Pardew on a Sunday evening here on talkSPORT.
The Ryder Cup. Unique, euphoric, unanimously loved. Here's the history and some of the key numbers behind the contest that grips the world of golf and beyond like no other. The first edition was held in 1927, where a Great Britain team arrived by boat to play in Massachusetts at the Worcester Country Club. Originally, the competition comprised of 4 foursomes and 8 singles, with 4 balls not introduced until 1963. In the first 22 editions, when it was just Brits and Irish against the US, America only lost 3. So, in 1979, in came the rest of Europe, including the future 5-time Ryder Cup winner, Seve Ballesteros. Since Team Europe was established, the head-to-head reads Europe 13, USA 9. Home advantage is a big deal. Europe's last away win was the miracle at Medina in 2012, and America hasn't won on European soil since '93 at the Belfry. It's accepted that both teams tailor their home courses to suit their own players. For example, in Paris in 2018, Thomas Bjorn asked for the rough to be kept extra long beyond the green to target the big booming American drives. 10 years earlier, Paul Azinger did the opposite, and the Valhalla rough was trimmed right down. On both occasions, the home side were resounding winners. So what about the money? The most recent Ryder Cup in Rome drew in a record 271,000 spectators and boosted the Italian economy by €262 million. In the US, the PGA America TV deal with NBC is worth $440 million. But no Ryder Cup revenue has ever gone directly to individual players. That's until now. In 2025, for the first time ever, the US team will each receive a fee for playing in New York. Of course, in Rome, legend has it Patrick Cantley refused to wear his cap because he wasn't being paid to wear it, though he insisted it simply didn't fit. Either way, Team Europe have made it clear they're more than happy to keep playing for the sheer thrill, joy and prestige of the Ryder Cup.
Good evening and welcome to the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, alongside the former Newcastle and Crystal Palace gaffer, Mr. Alan Pardew. He's our gaffer here on a Sunday evening, taking charge of the phone lines with me. And it's been a sensational Sunday in the Premier League with both teams at home losing as Man United picked up a huge win at Anfield to hurt Liverpool's title charge, and Villa turned around an early Spurs goal to win 2-1. So call us right now. That number, I have that number in my sleep. 03717 22 33 44. And you can air your views right now to the world here on talkSPORT. Remember, talkSPORT is now on your smart TV. Just grab the app on Android TV and Google TV. We're also on Prime Video as well, so come and watch us in our brilliant new studio. But it's all about you and your opinions right now. That number, once again, and I'll do it nice and slowly, 03717 22 33 44 to get involved here on the Final Word with Imagine Parts. Right, before we go back to the calls, Glasgow Rangers, third manager now to turn down the job in a week. Another one, Kevin Muscat turning it down. Steven Gerrard, Danny Rowe, and now Kevin Muscat. I see Alan Pardew, I see Tony Pulis, and I see Sam Allardyce on Uber Eats adverts. Come on, who's taking
on
the job?
Sunbeds.
Eating cucumbers.
On a serious note, I can't understand how that job is still vacant. I mean, it's a massive job. You know, when you go to Glasgow and experience
It's a huge club.
How big that football club is, the struggles they're having getting a manager over there. And obviously Steven Gerrard, which looked like it was definitely going to get over the line. Definitely, it was all going to get done. It got leaked out a little bit, and suddenly that wasn't over the line. So I think they need to have a real rethink there and make sure they get this next to whoever their target is over the line.
It's got to be a concern for Rangers fans right now.
Celtic lost today, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like Celtic are ripping it up. You know, this is, okay, Rangers have, you know, again, drew yesterday, and it wasn't, I'm told it wasn't a great performance, but, you know, there's still a great opportunity for this season.
Absolutely, yeah. Celtic lost earlier today. Dundee United 2-0. Rangers fans, are you concerned? Give us a call, 03717 223344, 03717 223344 for my Glasgow Rangers fans. Give us a call to talk about your club.
Is that so they can understand it better?
Exactly.
Well done, mate.
Right, so we're going to go back to the phone lines now, and it wouldn't be a Manchester United celebration if we didn't invite Jill onto the phone, Pass.
Well, we like to hear from Jill. You can usually, unfortunately, it's been on the back of a defeat. So today, it's a little bit different.
And it's normally Spurs are rubbish and United are rubbish, but today, Man United aren't rubbish. How are we, Jill?
Good evening, Madge. Good evening, Paz. How are you doing tonight?
You sound very upbeat.
Oh, I'm very happy. Very, very happy.
Listen,
Did you win, Madge?
What? Well, Spurs? No, we lost 2-1, didn't we?
Oh, never.
The only good thing is my son's team finally got their first win of the season on Saturday. So I would have taken that over a Spurs win, to be fair.
Okay.
So
listen, honestly, Paz, what did you? When I saw the team tonight, I thought to myself, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. No, I was too.
Honestly.
The question mark was Casemiro. Really, was he going to cope with it all?
Yeah.
But he did, and he admirably for 60 minutes. I mean, it looked like he couldn't wait to get off at 60 minutes at 1-0. But I thought the highlight for me of this Man United team at the moment is Cunha. No, Cunha.
Oh, Cunha.
Yeah, the couple of moments when he just gets out of situations that no one else can, like Cantona used to do.
Yeah.
It comes into him. He's got 2 or 3 around him, and he kind of juggles it, shifts it, manoeuvres his body, strong as an ox.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a special player for you.
Him and Mbeumo, yeah. What do they both have in common?
Go on, tell me.
Premier League.
Yeah,
Premier League proven players.
Yeah, but successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you not think, Pods, we've got to look at Maguire because all that Maguire's been through and all the stick he got, and he's come out, and that's twice he's done that, where he's come and got a late winner, and he's got a header, and at Anfield as well. I think we wanted it more. It has made my day, my month, my year.
You know what? If anyone post their career can do like an inspirational talk on like riding out storms, it's going to be Harry Maguire, because I tell you what, he's come under some serious flack over his time at Man United. The money, the captaincy, all that kind of stuff, and he turns up.
I've been there. You know, I've been there in my career.
Have you?
Yeah, I know what that feels like.
Tell us more than Pod.
Well, when you've had that period where people are on your back and it's, you're fighting against the calls.
When was your period?
Newcastle, of course.
What, as a boss?
Yeah. There was periods there the fans were not taking to me. And obviously with Mike Ashley as the owner, et cetera, decisions that were being made. It was
players coming to the office telling that they didn't fancy you at the start.
All that's everything. So the actual feeling, of, redemption kind of, that's a lovely word, and that's Harry Maguire.
Redemption song.
The redemption kid. Let's rename him. And like for England, even now, you'd have to say
he never lets England down. Never lets England down. With a great.
So well done, and I'm glad you highlighted him, Jill, because you're right.
Is he worthy of a clap, Pods?
Worthy of a clap. Well done, Harry.
Harry Maguire. There you go.
But he's a real force in the air, isn't he? At both ends.
People have given him a song over the years, and I'm sure it's not the nicest of titles to be called a slabhead, right? However, that head, slabhead, has done all sorts of magic for Manchester United, whether it's been in the European trophies or late games at Anfield. Mate, I think Harry Maguire, as I said, was deserving of our clap there. And
it'd be interesting to see one day when he kind of sits down and writes his autobiography, or he does his big kind of piece in one of the Sunday papers, what he made of all that kind of Ronaldo, Rashford period in that dressing room. Because he doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to kind of sit comfortably with him. Do you know what I mean? And he's obviously kept his counsel, and it'd be interesting to hear his take on all that, how that all unfolded.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jill. Great to hear from you. We've had a message from a mutual friend, Pards.
Go on.
Roman Kemp.
Roman?
Yeah.
Okay. What's he up to?
He said that Layman's, the keeper, Layman's, man of the match. If the Isak chance doesn't get saved, it's a Liverpool win. Also, didn't mess around trying to play out from the back, just got rid. Amram has to stick with that consistent backline now. Changes it up too often. Now they've got a keeper they can trust. He needs to let them gel.
Well, I think he's spot on. And, the keeper was terrific today. And you say it was a good stop, that, because he, unlike the Liverpool keeper, who's still on the move for the first goal, he plants himself to make the save. And he makes the save from Isaac. If he'd have come rushing out like the Liverpool goal he did in that first minute, he might have well have gone past him. So that was a great moment. And you're right, he didn't look at it. Wasn't one touch he had of the ball. When the crowd get excited because the keeper's had a bad touch. Yeah. Every touch was sound. It was away from the pressure, and he cleared his line. So yeah, well, Rowan knows his football, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Right, before we start speaking about Spurs and Villa, I want to talk to another Liverpool fan. We've got Rowan who joins us. Evening, Rowan.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not so bad. Listen, another bad day at the office for Liverpool. We're not usually saying that on this show, Pards.
No.
What's going wrong?
I just think, for me, I think it's the formation. I think we've brought in these players, and I think if you go back to 2014 when we had Brendan Rodgers, I think when you look at the two strikers that we had in Sturridge and Suarez, and we had the attacking mid in Coutinho, I think we've replicated that in Isaac Ekitike and Wirtz. And all of a sudden, we're playing very defensively, and we have been since last season. Now, at the start of last season, no one took us seriously because we've just lost Jurgen Klopp. Mm-hmm. We've not signed anyone. We've only signed Chiesa. And the 4-2-3-1 works because we were getting attacked. January comes around, everyone's gone, well, you've beaten Real Madrid, you've beaten Man City, you've beaten Man United, you've beaten Leverkusen. Oh, hang on a minute. Right, well, we'll sit back against you. And as soon as you sit back, Liverpool lose their shape. And I think if you look at it now, you look at Egypt, Salah the other week, he played as they played a 4-1-4-1. He played as a right cam. He could do that for Liverpool. He could play as a striker. Gakpo can play up front. Klopp did that with him. I just think it suits the system more. And I think if Slot doesn't change, I think he's just opening himself up to not only criticism from the public and the fans, I think he's opening himself up to losing his job.
Well, let's just go back to Slot, because after Klopp departed and he had that terrific send-off and everything, everyone said about Slot, his teams were much more methodical. They didn't overcommit. They were very organised. This year, I'm afraid that seems to have gone out the window. It seems to and today, 60 minutes. I mean, myself as a football manager in the Premier League, it would be very, very rare for me, even at Newcastle when I had a really strong offensive line, to make those changes at 60 minutes of putting 5, 6, 7 strikers onto a football pitch, or 6 or 7 offensive players, I should say. And then, of course, you're always liable. And I think even Gary Neville said on the Sky commentary, if there's one team's going to score a second goal, it'd be Man United. Actually, Liverpool did score, but Man United did get a second goal. And I could see that coming too.
Yeah, I think we all could. And I think the other thing as well is, you're playing, obviously when Klopp played, he played a 4-3-3. And that last season, we needed a CDM. And we got Endo. We were after Zubimendi. He didn't want to come. And now all of a sudden, you've only got one proper one at the club. I know Gravenberch can play there. But all of a sudden you're having to go, right, McAllister's playing there. McAllister's not playing. Szoboszlai might play there. Szoboszlai's been playing right back. You're putting Curtis Jones there. You're playing a lot of players out of position. And I just feel that...
And a lot of changes.
The diamond for me, if you can get McAllister and Szoboszlai in those centre mids, you have Gravenberch as your holding mid, and you have Wirtz as your centre attacking mid. I know you're losing Salah off the wing, but Salah can play as a striker for me. And
it was a great shout, to be fair, Rowan. Rowan, brilliant call. Thank you very much.
I mean, one of the problems, Madge, of course, and I've said this before, sometimes when you have an abundance of riches, you're kind of caught between what team am I going to put out this week? Well, actually, and then you rewrite it, and it looks better when you rewrite it, and then you rewrite it again, and then you're going back, and then you're just going around in a circle.
And then you go, hang about, we got a Champions League game this week
let's play it. Well, if we play the diamond and play Wirtz there, or if we play Salah up on the right, we can't play Wirtz. No, it becomes a little bit of a kind of, a compounding issue, and I don't know whether Slot's mind a little bit is like, I don't know my best team, and he's kind of just, trying to put it together. I mean, it needs to kick in a bit lively.
We'll find out more about what Slot's thinking in a moment's time, because coming up next, we're going to be hearing from the Liverpool manager on Slot. 03717 223344. It's Magic's Pards. It's Sunday night. It's the record-breaking final word. Oh yes, the Ibiza season might be done, but with me on the radio, it means we're bringing Ibiza to the radio with another record, Pards, from my...
I can't hear what she's saying. That's a female, I take it, singing.
There's a man go, I bring fire to the roof.
And what's the girl saying?
There's just like top vocals, yeah.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Take the Yeah, I quite like that. That's a good. Is that called a beat, a tempo, or what?
So this is a record on the label.
Rhythm. What is it?
By Beyond Chicago is the act. The two boys, you know Will, that you always see me with?
Yeah, okay.
Will and Louis.
Yeah.
They are beyond Chicago, and this is their record, Fire to the Roof, which is out now on that very same EP. So look, you've heard 2 tunes out of 6 already, and you're liking it.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Not a bad little start.
You get me dancing shoes out.
Get the dancing shoes out. So yeah, the reason we're playing these records, I've got a new EP out on my my label Resets, which is the first release from our new label.
Do I get any? You know, it's because this is our show, right?
Yeah.
Get it out. Like, does talkSPORT or me get anything for the rights? Or like we were promoting.
You get bragging rights when it's big to say that you co-signed it.
We help.
03717 3344. Someone that didn't bring fire to the roof today was the Liverpool team. They did not bring fire to the Anfield roof.
Didn't bring fire to the football pitch.
Yeah. Before we get back to your calls, let's now hear from Liverpool boss Arne Slot, who spoke about his side's defeat to talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook.
Yeah, the last thing you want if you play against a team that wants to defend and wants to play every ball long, that you go 1-0 down so fast. And that's what we did. And if you would have told me before the game that we were able to create so many chances against the low block, against a team that kicks every ball long, then I would have said probably that's not possible. So, but we were able. So normally you would score much more than 1 goal, and you were not expecting with the chances we gave away to concede 2. But we make a bad habit out of creating a lot, not scoring, conceding not so much, but do concede 2 goals.
What's the key to getting out of this run that you're on of defeats?
Now it will be helpful to win. That always helps because I can keep talking to the players, the mentality they've shown, how much chances they've created. I can show it tomorrow again. But what lasts is the results or what stays in our mind. And the longer results go against you, the more you wonder if they can keep producing what they are producing, because I don't think I can complain about any player when it comes to work rate. They just give everything, no matter how hard the circumstances are. With going 1-0 down so early when one of our players is on the floor. So many things go against us at the moment. And then it's up to us to fight ourselves out of that. But as long as the mentality is as it is at the moment, I have all reason to believe that we are able to win football games again.
That was Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager, speaking to Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent. What did you make of that? Some indirect digs there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they did create a lot of chances, but so did United for me, you know, and probably the better chances went to United. So, yeah, there is an argument to that they created a lot, but, you know, it was dysfunctional. It was kind of, you know, seat of the pants kind of football, particularly towards the end. And that's not really an Arne Slot team, the way I think about how they won it last year. But, you know, what is always very, very difficult, Madge, is to back up
what you did last year
when you won it, when you're the champions, because everyone's coming for you, everyone's looking at you, everyone's expecting this. So they're bought big, they're trying to back it up, and at the moment it just looks all a little bit off key. I mean, that's the word. We're talking about your records in key and a little bit of rhythm. Liverpool are the exact opposite to that great tune you just played.
Out of key with no rhythm.
Yeah.
And you know what? You mentioned before having that sort of vast amount of luxuries, right? It's almost like good food, isn't it? Like, you know, you've got all these ingredients, yeah? If you have too many of the really good ones and you put them all together, it's going to be, when people say, it's a bit rich. You know, at the moment, Liverpool, they've got an abundance of talent there, and they're not knowing where to play yourself. They're let's just put it all in there. Yeah. And I think that...
And also, what you don't understand is, you know, and what he will be experiencing with his coaching team is the dynamic in the dressing room.
Yeah.
You know, is Isaac giving it the big one? Is he kind of just settling in nicely? Is someone put someone's nose out of joint? Is there a little bit of bad feeling in there? Is there a bit of favouritism to Salah? So all those kind of things are adding to the mix, which obviously we can't possibly be party to, only the people in the dressing room.
Well,
the one thing, I just want to finish on something he said in the end there, which is very true for a manager. When you're on a losing run, what you're trying to do is pick out the positives, right? You say, well, we expected goals were great, we performed well, our fight was good, our distances were covered, and you're trying to gloss it up to go to the next game. And what he was more or less saying after those 4 defeats is, look, I can't gloss it up anymore. We just need to win. Yeah. And that you do get to that stage, and that is an uncomfortable stage.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting? You mentioned about the dressing room and the dynamics. Of course, you're privy to it because you've been in there. But what's been really telling is, obviously, I don't know if you've seen this week, this whole Wilfried Zaha and Mateta beef that's going on. Have you seen it?
No.
So I think whilst Zaha was at Crystal Palace and Mateta was there as well, there was basically talk to Mateta that you'll never get into the French team. And he's called out Zaha for saying that. And when he's got into the French team, he's gone and said, look, I'm here now, right? But then Zaha's come back and said, mate, what the 10 of us were talking about that situation. Why are you calling me out? Is it because I'm the big name, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, and here's the context. We said, whilst Giroud, Griezmann and Benzema are in the French team, you're unlikely to make it. Do you know what I mean? So there could be those conversations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Does that happen? Is there that sort of rivalry between people? Maybe Ekatike and him are going, I'll take your place.
Of course. You know, and you have to remember that the egos of these players are such that they're expected to have success. Their agents expect them to have success. Their families expect them. That's why they're at a club like Liverpool. So you have all that complexities of going on in the dressing room and subtleties that sometimes, as a manager, you're not even party to.
Yeah.
You know, like that. You're talking about that conversation there. I'm pretty sure, Glasner doesn't know nothing about that.
No.
You know, and so it's like a different kind of feeling, but. What you do know is that Liverpool, I would agree with Arne Slot on one thing today. They don't look like they're throwing the towel in, or it looks like somebody's angry or frustrated. They're just not functioning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not in a really bad place. They're just in a dysfunctional kind of who should start, who should be on the bench, what's the best blend, what's the best system that's going to take us to a 10-game winning run, because that's where they need to be right now. And, their games are coming thick and fast. They play Frankfurt on Wednesday, which is a tough game away. And then they've got to travel back, which will be Thursday. Then they've got to play Saturday night, which is not a great...
Brentford.
At Brentford, under the lights, with Brentford, who are a tough team at home. So, the next two games are tricky.
037172233. Before we're going to be hearing from the Villa fans and the Spurs fans as well. So much to come. It's the final word on talkSPORT.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it
Dip it, drop it, lock it. Put your number in my pocket. You're hot, I'm ready, let's go. I'll only leave if you say so. Let's vogue.
Hello, sir. This is Vogue.
I feel like I'm on the wrong station.
This is talkSPORT, and it is Majestic, and it's Alan Pardew who's currently reacting.
My current house sitting.
Yeah, this is Alan Pardew reacting to house music that is out this weekend on my label, which is called Reset, the label, and the EP is called Reset the Dance Floor Volume 1, and this record...
Because there's going to be a Volume 2, presumably.
Absolutely, and this record is by the greatest house and techno producer in the world, German Kurt Dasbert.
They're good at all those, symphonizers and all that. Is that what they're called?
Kraftwerk.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a little Kraftwerk in this, isn't there? And and featuring the vocals of Mystic H. And Kurt Dasbert, of course.
Mystic H.
Right. Kurt Dasbert, of course.
Like a wrestler.
Yeah, is actually my pseudonym.
That's
it's me.
Use.
Yeah, it's basically me pretending to be a German house and techno producer who is very arrogant and very obnoxious and wears a hat and glasses.
So, hold on a minute. How many modes have you got?
I've got a few.
You just make them up as you go along.
Well,
I like that one though. It's a bit because you could be a wrestler. You're a big lad.
I'll show you a picture of what Kurt looks like. He has a hat and glasses, and he wears a turtleneck polo top. And he talks like this, and he's like, Alan Pardew is the greatest Premier League manager of all time. So that is out now. It's called Vogue. You like that one?
I like that one, yeah. It's a little bit slower for me. That's better. I can move to.
You could have a bit of the Berghain in this. You know about the Berghain in Berlin? Very famous club. Basically, you can't get into it.
It's one of those raunchy clubs. It's a bit lively there.
Well, yeah, all sorts goes on in there till all sorts of times of the day. But walking in, if you don't look like you belong there, you're not getting in.
Because it's Oktoberfest in Munich.
It is, yeah.
Is that in Berlin, do they have?
They have it all over.
Yeah.
They have it in Hertfordshire.
Yeah. Actually, they got it in a farm near me in Surrey.
So listen, earlier on today, of course, Aston Villa came to Tottenham Hotspur, they came to North London, and the Villains, they took the 3 points. Brilliant crowd there today as well. The Villa boys and girls singing their hearts out as they came back from a goal down, an early goal as well. Last time Spurs lost 2-1 against Aston Villa was back in February in the FA Cup. And Aston Villa knocked us out of the FA Cup. And you wasn't there that day. I had Gabby Abongnaho alongside me.
Okay.
And on the phone that night, we were joined by a very angry Spurs caller. He's quite infamous on this station. Calls up the sports bar a lot. He's called Angry Matt. Take a listen to how feisty this got.
This is the problem at the football club, and it's a continuous problem that won't change. And until you get rid of the man at the top, because he's the cause of the problem...
Right, did you not hear the top of the show? I said the exact same thing.
But you're turning around and having a pop at Ange, and you don't know about how the identity of the football club...
Yeah, because you can have two problems in the same problem, my friend. You can have a problem in... Listen, so do you think Ange is out of his depth, Matt?
Matt, listen, fella, I told you when we finished 5th, I don't think he's the right man.
Well, there you go.
The problem is, why are you pointing the finger at the man when when he's 15 and he's got Kinski, which I've never heard of. You've got Kel, who nobody wanted. Dragusin, that supposedly Bayern Munich wanted. Man, are we stupid or what, mate? We're not stupid. Listen, I've got a lady on my left-hand side sitting next to me, right? And do you know what? She goes to me, why are they having a pop at Ange? Why are they talking about this and that and the other? Why don't they talk about what matters at the football club?
So that was back in February. And we get
angry, is Matt angry?
Angry Matt. So imagine my joy.
You almost glazed over there. Yeah. Your eyes were almost glazed over.
Imagine my joy as I'm walking towards the Spurs stadium with my young son Leo, excited for the game, and I get stopped by a
always
man.
Quite nice to walk up to a football match.
Yeah,
any football match,
especially
nice.
Like my little 8-year-old son. He's excited.
Smell of the onions,
smell of the burgers, the onions, etc. A man approaches me. You wouldn't believe who I bumped into. The one and only Angry Matt. And if you're watching us on YouTube or your smart TV, you can watch that exchange right now, but you can listen, of course, on the radio.
Magic, talkSPORT, I'm here with my friend. He said Levy pays my season ticket. I can assure you he doesn't. Right? That the angry Spurs fan, not so angry anymore. Would you make a big Ange getting sacked from Nottingham Forest?
Sad, absolutely sad. The guy, we hold him at a high regard here. He won us a trophy, so we love him. But ultimately, he wasn't the right manager for them.
Is Thomas Frank the right manager for us?
I don't think so. No.
Do you not?
No. I don't think he is either. But if the club go the direction that we're expecting, be it either they sell or they put money into the team, then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can then start attracting better players, and then I believe the manager will change as well. My take on Forest's next manager, Thomas Frank, would be ideal for them.
Really?
Absolutely ideal. So I think we need a bit more higher calibre, not because I believe we're a fantastic football, well, we are a fantastic football club, but in terms of being up there, to take us to that next level, we needed a top manager. Unfortunately, the Contes of this world have gone off. But
what about Villa today? What do you think?
1-0.
To us?
Yeah, 1-0, 2-1 at the worst. I think Villa can't score many goals.
And the invite to a lovely burger to Jason and Jamie is a way-in.
Absolutely, on me.
We're heading there now to test it out.
Absolutely.
So, listen, look, the smiles on his face today, when he calls us, he's normally furious.
Yes, leave me out. We've done it. Finally we got there.
Love. talkSPORT.
That was not so angry Matt today outside the Tottenham Stadium, just to prove how lovely it is to bump into our listeners when we're out and about.
Well, I usually get a lot of positive vibes about our show, which is good. You get
absolutely
some rave reviews when I speak to people. But look, angry Matt, I'm not having him at all. What's he talking about? I don't want a burger, by the way. You've obviously charmed him to try and get a burger today.
I must admit, he has 2 burger stalls by the ground, and they are fantastic.
I don't want a burger.
And I got one for free, by the way.
Right. I don't want a burger, and I don't agree with him. Thomas Frank is definitely good enough for Spurs. And Spurs sit 6th tonight. If we said at the start of the season would they be sick, we'd be absolutely delighted. Okay, you've had a tough old game today, but Aston Villa are a good team too. So, and I think the league's going to be a bit like that. When I look down the league, we look at where Newcastle are. They're 13th. We think they're a good side, right? Fulham are 14th. Brentford are 16th. So, and Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Wolves are in the relegation zone. I mean, every game is very, very difficult.
So difficult.
So, you're going to get turned over, as Liverpool have proved today, that even the best are finding it difficult in this league. And I think someone could win the league and lose 6-7 games this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those seasons. But yeah, thank you to Matt for his hospitality for me and my son today. And he extends that invite to Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara. Go and see him if you'd like a cheeky burger.
Obviously not to me now.
Not to you now.
I've rubbished him, yeah.
Let's go over to Chris, who's a Spurs fan. I think me and him have got some similar views. Chris, how are we, mate?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
That's all right. I'm out the right away in the bedroom. I'm in Dublin. I'm all flued up. There's a shock, a bit of damp. We've got a lot more in common. I met the mother of my eldest girl in the Pasha 41 years ago.
Oh. Well, the Pasha Ibiza or a Pasha London?
Pasha Ibiza.
Oh, nice.
I went back by accident. The missus sent me away last year on a golf trip, and the lads called off, so I flew to Ibiza instead. But I weren't paying 120 sobs to get in there, 30 quid a drink. I ain't that romantic. I'm going on about the Tottenham way of we're buying everybody else's young talent. And I'm wondering why our academy is not developing our own talent. You know, we had Lancashire last year, who, you know, he puts in a shift, whatever. These boys we got, they're French boys, played in Belgium, whatever, or Germany, and they're not actually doing it.
No.
So from my experience, because I've lived abroad all my life, and I've seen a lot of the young boys who come over, the upbringing they get at football clubs in Europe is technically fantastic. When they come to England, they grow a bit of a backbone, you know, as in Toby Alderweireld and amongst others. And we're just not doing it at Tottenham. We're not doing it at Tottenham. These boys we got, like Odegaard, he's like a deer in the headlights. And I'm wondering why, you know, what the story is. Why aren't we giving our boys a chance?
Well, Chris, you know what? I just want to come in on there because, like you said, Odegaard today, you know, he definitely looked energetic in phases, but he kept getting to that position where, you know, it's 1 versus 2. He's got to go down the line. He's got to do something special, and he looks scared. Now, the very little that we got to see of Mikey Moore last season, and I remember a game in Europe where he came off and, you know, Maddison was waxing lyrical about him, calling him our very own Neymar, etc. Now, Mikey Moore is at Rangers as we speak, the club that doesn't have a manager currently. Now, as you say, I don't understand why Mikey Moore, who, you know, he says a talent from our academy, knows the club, he's someone who's come through, why these guys aren't necessarily getting a chance. But Odegaard, for example, is. Pards, what do you reckon that is down to?
Well, firstly, you know, the academies that we have are actually well structured now and well policed, and probably the envy of the world, if I'm honest. I know there are certain clubs in Europe that always produce young players. It's almost like they have a system that works. Ajax being one of those clubs, Barcelona being one of those clubs, Real Madrid bring through a lot of their own talent. But you know, to actually break through to the first team is more difficult now because of the finance the Premier League has. So you're buying world stars. It's a world league. I think Wolves carry 2 Englishmen, for example, you know, in their squad. The rest are all international players from abroad. Yeah. So it's very difficult to get in, that's for sure. I don't like this, the fact that they're pure profit on the PSR, on your financial fair play system, because that is creating a sell situation where you're getting these young players who are being traded, like Anderson had to be traded at Newcastle just to make sure that they got, you know, they could play in Europe and they were subject to Premier League rules. So that rule needs to change. In terms of the quality of those individuals, they have to be top players. And sending them out on loan like Mikey Moore is at Rangers is the way to see if they're cracking it. Now, at the moment, I don't know if he's playing in the team, but you would suspect that if he's good enough, he needs to be playing. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then the margins are really tight. And, of course, because they're young players and they're learning their trade in the Premier League, it does make it very, very difficult to sustain a 3-game, 4-game, 5-game run.
Well, that's my thing. You know, I mentioned a couple of names for you, Chris, in terms of what Spurs have brought in this season. Kudus and Polina, right? They are the ones that have come in and have been very good. But there's something in common with them. Premier League proven players. One's done it at Fulham and then went to Bayern Munich. And Kudus was arguably West Ham's best player 2 years ago, right? I think this whole idea of, like, you know, Tell was a fringe player at Bayern Munich, or I know Odegaard played for Burnley, but they went down the same season. I don't think he's had much Premier League experience. I think this idea of, you know, waiting and seeing how our players get. You said it before when we had last year's transfer with Archie Gray and a couple of others, buying for the future. Spurs still don't have enough in that squad of buying for now. Like, for example, again, we're going to mention them. They are the top of the league right now, and they are looking like they're going to win the Premier League. Arsenal, they went out and bought Eze. They bought Madueke. They bought people that can instantly fit into that team at any moment. And I think Kulusevski being out, Maddison being out, and Solanke being out, both 3 Premier League proven players, is a huge blow for us at the moment. And the one thing I will say is, apart from those amazing bit of skill from Villa today with their finishing and touches and passes, they didn't put us under any threat. I think that Thomas Frank has gone and sorted that defence out, but I think at home he might be a little bit too negative, and I think he needs to address that.
Yeah, I don't think negative is a word I'd use for him. I think he's very, very much on structure, and he's very much on counter-attacking and quick attacks. And sometimes that low block, which you can imagine at Brentford, he hasn't got too much experience of. Right? This is always the way sometimes. At Newcastle, when I was a manager at West Ham, we was always low block, a counter-offensive team, very solid, very strong. When I went to Newcastle and you have to dominate the game and you have to be the boss and you have to find a way through a low block, it's a different thing. It's a different thing.
It's getting harder as well.
And it is getting harder. And
so much so that we've seen the return of the Rory Delap. The long throw is back in vogue in 2025.
Well, you know, there's a stat that's come out today that last year, long throws was like averaging 1.5 per game across the Premier League. It's now, 3.7.
Wow.
And Liverpool were doing it today. Man United were doing it today. And the thing about a long throw is, a bit like a corner, the centre halves are coming up from the back. There's a lull in the game. And, people are starting to kind of say this about Arsenal, coming in, a little bit like a NFL set play team, because, it does take a while to set up a long throw. And if you have a long throw corner, goes out, long throw, corner, that's going to take up like a 10-minute period of a game. So there's no rhythm to it.
It's football in the mud, Pods.
Well,
it's football in the mud. I'm going to say it's football in the mud, guys.
Let me just say there's a balance. And, let's be honest, we're only talking, let's rewind, right? Rewind, 4 or 5 months to PSG's performance in the Champions League. And everyone's going, well, this is the future of football. And I thought to myself, might see that reflected in the Premier League this year. The way they played, that quick pass and move and fast and speed and getting at the opposition quick as they can. We haven't really seen that. It's been stop-start kind of start.
I feel like the Premier League, especially because of how competitive it is that you've just mentioned.
And the margins.
People are so scared to lose. And that's what it feels like. And it is, I'll be honest with you, I was over Spurs today. Apart from those bits of quality from Villa, good goal for Spurs as well. It wasn't entertaining. Can
I give you a little bit of a warning?
Yeah.
Right, you ready? The only team, to me, that looks like it's in complete control, again, is Manchester City. And what I mean by that is that...
What, not Arsenal?
No, I think Manchester City are in real control of the game for longer periods than Arsenal. Arsenal are not a team that kind of dominate the possession so much as Man City. And I'm beginning to think, and I didn't think I would say this, but what are we, 8 games in? I'm beginning to think Man City could be the team to beat.
Well, I wonder what Angry Matt, the Spurs fan, thinks of today, and you can have a chat with him about Thomas Frank, maybe. 03717 22 3344. It is the final word on talkSPORT. Right, if you want the chance to win up to £100,000, in the words of Terry Tibbs, £100,000, tax-free, you better listen up right now. That's right, our biggest cash prize to date has landed. And we're going all in and giving you the chance to win that huge £100,000 completely tax-free. 100 large parts. Can you imagine the party?
Nice.
We'd have a good party with that, wouldn't we?
Definitely.
Listen up now for all the details on how to enter.
18 plus UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Now, before we hear from the Man United boss Ruben Amorim, turn our attention to another sport that Pars loves. It's the US Formula One, which starts at 8 o'clock with Max Verstappen on pole. And here to look forward to the Grand Prix is talkSPORT's Tom Clayton. How are we, Tom?
Evening, guys. How are we doing?
Yeah, very well, mate.
Yeah, so looking forward to this Grand Prix. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, we saw the sprint race yesterday. That was kind of carnage going into the first corner with the two McLarens effectively taking each other out of the race, which is something we don't normally see, is two teammates coming together like that at the start of any kind of race. Max Verstappen won comfortably yesterday. As you said, he goes from pole position today. That turn one is going to be so dangerous. Watching out for Hamilton and Piastri. They're going from 5th and 6th. Going to see how they take it, whether they go a little tentatively or whether they go all guns blazing. We know George Russell from 4th likes to go hard at the start, so it'll be interesting to see what the tactic is.
I mean, you know, the one thing that looms over this championship is Verstappen, isn't it? He's suddenly got the bit between his teeth and he's chasing them down.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the way that this championship is shaken out, maybe as recently as 3 or 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 races ago, we thought this was all done. You know, Lando Norris pulled out of the Dutch Grand Prix, had an engine problem, and Oscar Piastri had such a massive lead. But he's had such poor form recently to really struggle towards what is now only a 22-point lead over Lando Norris and a 55-point lead over Max Verstappen. Now, yes, okay, it's not a massive, or it's not like this thing that's going to come down in one race. But if you give Max Verstappen any kind of a chance, he's going to take it. So he's definitely one to watch towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be
absolutely brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Tom.
Cheers, Tom.
That is looking ahead to the F1 that kicks off at 8 o'clock. Now let's go back to the game at Anfield this evening to hear the delighted Man United boss Ruben Amorim, who caught up with our chief football correspondent and United fan Alex Crook after their 2-1 win.
You promised the fans at the end of last season that better days were coming. Was that your best day as Manchester United manager today?
I think it was. If you see our fans, and they are amazing, the way they even fight in the difficult moment when Liverpool is winning titles and we are suffering, to see them singing during the games and being here. It's so important for me because they always support me. But the best I can do is to tell them to forget this game. This is in the past. Enjoy today, but tomorrow let's focus on Brighton.
That was the Man United boss, Ruben Amorim, of course, who's very happy with that win, and rightly so.
Yeah, I think Crookie was one of those pundits. He's a pundit, isn't he, Crookie? I know he's chief correspondent who wanted Amorim out.
He's everything, Crookie.
And he was very nice to him, wasn't he?
He was.
Suddenly you got back-to-back wins, and is this your greatest day? Well, anyway, look, without due respect, I do think Amorim is a fine manager. I think his morals, the way he sets his teams up, has some merit. The jury was definitely out in terms of his results. But when I look at that team today, it did look a lot stronger, a lot better. Yep. I still think it needs Manu in there somewhere. I like Ahmad. I think he's a top player. So
they've got
when Manu gets, well, I can't understand why Manu can't dislodge Casemiro, because I think if he could, then they'd have a bit more energy in there, a bit more speed, a bit more pace, a bit more kind of youthful exuberance.
And we saw the rise of Kobe Manu with England.
Yeah,
you know, he managed to be getting a starting place in the Euros. It's such a strange
It is a strange one. But anyway, let's hope that he can manage to find the confidence and form and the chances to dislodge Casemiro. I think that would be a way forward.
It's Sunday night. It's Madge and Pards. 037172223 Madge and Pards on a Sunday. You know it means quiz time coming up next.
Oh.
There's a lot of talk about the independent football regulator. Some people love the sound of it, others don't. But what actually is it? And is it going to be any good for the game? In simple terms, it'll be an organisation not controlled by the Premier League, the EFL or the government, which will make sure all clubs are financially stable and don't rip off the fans. The aim is to make sure what happened to Bury, Derby and Reading doesn't happen again. Now, a significant reason clubs go under is because of dodgy owners financially mismanaging the club and running it into the ground. But in theory, these should be a thing of the past with the new regulator. They'll be able to use data from the National Crime Agency to perform stronger fit and proper persons tests and can even force owners to give up their stake in a club, which for certain supporters might be a welcome relief. It's likely good news for the EFL. The tension between them and the Premier League over a fair financial deal has been increasing in recent years. As it stands, talks have broken down. The Premier League backed out of recent negotiations, but the regulator will have the power to force through a deal, meaning more money for clubs lower down the pyramid. Now, this might sound simple, but in reality there's concerns this will open a legal can of worms, which could result in messy court cases involving the Premier League and the regulator. Parachute payments will be brought under the control of the regulator too. If they reduce them, it could mean a wider variety of clubs securing promotion to the top flight, but critics reckon it'll just mean the gap between the Premier League and EFL actually widens, as promoted clubs won't get as much money, which should normally be used to buy better players so they can compete.
And current Premier League clubs have said if there were no parachute payments, they'd actually invest less, which would harm the quality of the top flight. And if clubs don't invest, then you'll get exactly what the EFL don't want, which is the same 3 clubs going down every year. And remember when Cardiff's owners changed the club's colours and badge? Well, in future, fans will have to approve any major changes to their club's heritage. Now, that might all sound great, but do we really need it? Some say the downfall of Reading and Bury is an exception, not the rule. So as a whole, the most successful footballing pyramid in world football doesn't need regulation. They say it scares investors who can help grow the game. If those investors go elsewhere, well, the Premier League may no longer be the destination for the best players in the world. And others, well, they just don't trust politicians to appoint truly independent people to regulate our game.
Welcome to the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, alongside the legend that is Mr. Alan Pardew. Soon we will have the final word on the weekend action as Nottingham's Forest managerial merry-go-round continued and Haaland continues to dominate Premier League defences. But right now we're giving you the greatest quiz on radio according to producer Ross, the mystery footballer quiz, which today is rebranded the Mystery Manager Song Quiz. So it's a manager.
Oh.
There's 3 songs in total, which will lead you to who the manager is, hopefully. Remember, it could be the clubs he's managed, his trophy collection, a nickname, or even a famous item of clothing. That's a big hint. A famous item of clothing. It could be Tim Sherwood's gilet. So DJ Kitch, let's drop the song.
To make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall. But if you're
Stereo MCs with Connected. Of course, they come from Nottingham. Stereo MCs with Connected.
I bet you've sampled this a few times, haven't you? Is that what it's called, sample?
Yeah. This is Green Day, American Idiot.
Oh, well, we're getting all the 3 songs.
All of them in the montage.
We used to have this quiz like we had the songs ones at a time.
That's the montage now. Green Day. Green. Take the word green. Green Day. And the final song, I love this song. Day. We're on earth, say we love you, Lates. Good morning, Leeds. Leeds United marching on together. That is the 3rd song. So the first one, Stereo MCs Connected. They come out of Nottingham. And the second one, Green Day, American Idiot. Famous item of clothing. And Leeds United marching on together. Think you know who it is, Pards?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do.
I've got to say to Leeds, like Leeds marching on together is up there with the top 3 football songs.
Tough result yesterday. Well done, Burnley. Scotty Parker. What a result for them.
Scotty Parker done well there, didn't he?
Yeah.
And what a goal as well. See the goal?
Yeah, good goal.
Rocket.
Good goal.
Speaking of goals, did you see the Bradford game?
And the bottom 3 are not any promoted teams. Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Wolverhampton.
I know, and that is very...
Yes, that's a good, encouraging sign.
Yeah, you basically don't want to be... below them. Did you see the goal yesterday in the Bradford-Barnsley game?
I did. What a goal.
Wow. That was insane. If you haven't seen it, Reyes Cleary scores from behind the D of the...
I'm trying to think, was it Alonso who scored from really, really deep?
Yeah.
Very similar.
That was in the FA Cup, but it wasn't like that. It was on the floor. Like, it was more of a bang. This was in the air. This was Beckham-esque.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, make sure you go and see it. So that is the 3 songs. If you think you know the answer, text us to 81089 or send us a WhatsApp message to 03717222344. Sorry, I've not been reading out your WhatsApps just yet. I can't see our messages on the screen for some ludicrous reason. Producer Ross puts his hand up. You know, like when the defender's made a mistake. Sorry, guys.
Oh, when he comes, I used to hate that as a manager, and come in and you're 1-0 down, and the defender goes, "Sorry, Gaffer," and you're like,
So I want to talk about something. Now, we love grassroots football on this show, especially. For those that never listened to the show before, of course, Alan Pardew is someone who's very unique in the world of football because you've played and managed at every step, haven't you?
Yep.
Which is an amazing feat, by the way. And of course, with me having an 8-year-old son, I've got a niece that's playing for Arsenal at the moment. I've got another niece that plays football. My nephew plays football. I'm very heavily invested in grassroots football. Currently, the number 2 of Wormley FC under 9s.
You're the encouraging voice.
I'm the encouraging voice
of the management team,
alongside the gaffer, which is Ryan Wade. Big up Wadey. In fact, actually, he was at the David Bentley Jody Morris boxing fight last night, which Jody Morris won.
Really?
Yeah.
Jody Morris up against who?
David Bentley.
Really?
Yeah.
What, a proper fight?
Proper fight, yeah. Three rounds.
Oh, wow.
3 rounds. Jody Morris came out on top. Chelsea beating Tottenham again.
A nice lad.
So anyway, we're very much invested in grassroots football. Finally, my son's team got their first win of the season after their 5th game yesterday. And, if you do listen to this show, my son's team were very successful last year, doing really well. One at St. George's Park, we came on here, and, they won the tour in Butlins. They've been doing really well. For whatever reason, this season starting off.
Just hit a wall.
We're doing it at Liverpool.
Unbalanced, not got any rhythm, conceding at set plays.
But one thing that, I had a good chat with my one of my best mates, big shout to James McManus, who's another football manager over at Cuffley. And it's talking about the way that these kids are being trained and taught to dribble, like,
What age are we talking about?
We're talking, 8, from anywhere from 5 upwards, right?
Okay.
And they're going to camps, from football camps and training camps, etc.
Yeah.
And a lot of the basis of the training is about holding on to the ball, footwork, turns and learning all
shielding
the steps.
The ball.
Not necessarily shielding, but just running with the ball and skills.
Yeah.
And like being in tight areas and Cruyff turns and Zidanes and Xavis. They've all got names now.
Yeah.
There was only the Cruyff turn when I was growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But they've all got a name now.
And in the 1940s, you just dropped your shoulder.
Well, was that good?
Like
The Stanley Matthews. The Stanley Matthews. That's
dropped
it.
Your shoulder.
We're seeing that in their dribble, etc. But then we come to the Premier League and it kind of almost gets taught out of them. Now, I'm watching even kids football at the moment and kids just not looking up passing, not trying to find balls, and they're not being coached that by a lot of these sort of football camps, not necessarily academies, but like camps, etc. There's a lot of those around nowadays, and they're really good, by the way. But I just wanted to get your opinion on the way that children are being taught how to play football. It's very different to how I was taught. We played game scenarios. When we used to go to training, we played trying to find the passes, doing sort of drills on, 2 versus 1, etc. What's your take on like the youngsters nowadays? It feels like there is this effort to make our youngsters much better with their feet, a bit like the Spanish, etc.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go back. We have to kind of rewind a little bit because there was a period when focusing on individual skills wasn't so great, and being hard, being tough boys or girls was the angle. Being aggressive, being a winner. And it kind of, right from the FA, who have done loads of studies in Germany and Brazil and all over the world, France in particular, was to try and put the skill set in early so that when they become teenagers, for example, then they get a bigger pitch. They can start getting their vision going and becoming team players, having the technical skills. Now, as a Premier League manager, sometimes I would have an academy player come to me and I would have him for like a week's trial. This is like the top kid. We really think highly of him, and he can't even use his left foot. And I can't understand, when a player has been through the youth system, school system, plus the academy, and can't even use his left foot. So the basic technical skills was something that we were behind on all the continental teams. So that is one of the factors. One of the other factors, I think, is like the technology that we have now with mobile phones and YouTube and tricks that are constantly drilled into these young people's heads, and they want to replicate
freestylers.
Yeah, freestyling, etc., etc. And I get that. So I wouldn't worry too much about them not being team players or not passing at that early stage. You're talking about 8, 9-year-olds. I think the basic skills are very, very important, and they will develop those skills. And you will find that some stay on that road. They just want to be tricksters, like Will Zaha, but become a player, but was really an individual in a team.
Yeah.
And you get players who come through like Mark Noble, who had great technical ability and could do all the tricks, but that wasn't his asset. His asset was his passing and his vision and his team play. So it's all very much about the individual, the personality, but those technical skills are important.
The only thing I'd link that back to today is just seeing...
I think you're frustrated that you see too many of them like doing little tricks, trying to impress
and just running into
individuals.
Nowhere. Yeah, running into nowhere, getting caught and losing possession. And then even when it goes to the top level, when you've got really good defenders, all your trickery doesn't matter when you're being doubled up on.
Well, as professional coaches, we don't really analyse players too much when they're 8 and 9. You know, it's just letting them play and letting them enjoy the game, and don't make too many rules, etc., etc. It's when they get to about, well, what I used to call second school, like 12, 13, where you start to go, okay, we now see kind of some sort of resemblance of a team player.
Brilliant. Great insight from you, Pards. Lovely to have that. It's now time to get all the latest from the US Formula One Grand Prix from talkSPORT's Tom Clayton.
Yeah, lap number 7 of the US Grand Prix. We're just under virtual safety car conditions after a collision further back between Mercedes driver Antonelli and Williams driver Sainz. So far, it's been fairly clean to start this Grand Prix. Verstappen got off to a good start, and he has scarpered down the road. The gap at about 3 seconds at the moment. It's been a good start for the two Ferraris. Charles Leclerc up into second place on the softer compounded tyres. Lewis Hamilton had a terrible start, but then hung it all the way around the outside on turn 1. He's up into 4th. They've got the McLaren of Lando Norris in between. Oscar Piastri in 5th. He's running a bit of a lonely race at the moment, but as it stands, Max Verstappen in control, dominating this USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Tom. 03717 22 Coming up next, we'll have the final word on all the weekend's action.
smashes it home. Chelsea lead 3-0. Nottingham Forest are beaten.
Nottingham Forest Football Club have confirmed Ange Postecoglou has been relieved of his duties as the head coach.
It's Sunderland 2, Wolves 0.
Manchester City 2, Everton 0. Yep, it is that man again. 11 Premier League goals.
Brighton 2, Newcastle 1, Danny Welbeck.
Burnley 2, Leeds 0, and this is an absolute stunner from Burnley substitute Lou Chandwa.
Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Jean-Philippe Mateta bags the match ball.
Fulham 0, Arsenal 1, and after all of that, they've scored from a corner.
And what a goal this is. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. Buendia has provided the finish.
Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2, and it's Harry Maguire, and Manchester United have inflicted a fourth successive defeat on the champions. They've won at Anfield for the first time since 2016.
And that is how the weekend sounded on the incredible talkSPORT. Big shout out to all our colleagues who do a wonderful job across the grounds over the weekend as the title race heated up with big wins from Manchester City and Arsenal, who moved to the top of the table. But let's start with a huge clash at Anfield that finished 2-1 to Manchester United to hurt Liverpool's title charge. And of course, with me as always, Mr. Alan Pardew. Pards, a massive win for Man United. First win at Anfield since 2016. Wayne Rooney played in that game. And Harry Maguire was still at Hull City. So, it's been a while.
Coming down that left side, he used to for Hull City. They were terrific today. I mean, you know, everything about them, the start, they started fast. Their attitude, their application was good. For a change, I thought the back three with the wing backs looked solid.
Yep.
They didn't get done down the outsides. There wasn't balls up at the inside of the wing backs for the strikers to exploit. The gaps were minimal. And they got their goal obviously early, and then, you know, as the game unfolded, and Liverpool were throwing everything at them, they just stuck to the task, and in the end won it with a Harry Maguire typical back post, no one can defend him header.
Absolutely.
To get the win.
4 defeats in a row now. It took Liverpool
no kind of cohesion, no rhythm to Liverpool.
Is that like the collapse of their tight defence?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying that. I mean, obviously, the armoury that he has in that dress room is like phenomenal. He hasn't got the best out of Wirtz yet. Isaac isn't really, hit the ground running. Ekatike looked a handful when he come on.
Yeah, I think he should have started.
Yeah, maybe he's the one to stick through the middle for a little bit and let Isaac kind of really get hungry and work on his fitness.
I want to talk about Isaac quickly because you mentioned off air before about a comparison with a former Liverpool star that made a big money move once upon a time, Fernando Torres. Do you think there could be some similarity? Talk me through what you meant by that.
Well, sometimes, when Torres was at Liverpool, I mean, he looked just like
one of the best we've ever seen in the Premier League.
Yeah, on another
That's how
level,
good he was.
like Haaland. We was like lauding him as everything. He was everything that you'd want as a striker. And he had even more to his game than Haaland, in my opinion, Torres. Absolutely. He could run. He was probably better travelling with the ball. He could beat Peter
100%.
Probably better than Haaland. There was other assets that Haaland has that he doesn't. But anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that move to Chelsea, which everyone would assume would be rubber stamped to be a massive success, wasn't. And he struggled, and he never really kind of fitted in the system that they had. And Newcastle, when you look at Newcastle last year, a lot of their play was fast and crosses, like fast crosses coming in the box early. And he is not that it's not that system at Liverpool. It's a different system. All the teams are going to come and win with a low block. You're going to have to find little pockets of space. What Haaland has to do at Man City, how many times have we watched Haaland not actually do much, but have the capacity when the moment comes to smash it in the back of the net? Now, Isaac's going to need to learn that, to be patient. And Torres never really come to terms with it at Chelsea. And I drew that comparison. And this is early to draw it, by the way. But it's something that, that Isaac, I'm sure, will not want.
Absolutely. Lots of subs at the end as well. Trying to work out the formation Liverpool had at the end of the game. It was quite hard to tell. They were throwing everything at it, basically.
Yeah, and I think this is part of Liverpool's problem. You know, last year he was changing the front three, and it was all working. In they were 1-1. They put 3 subs on, and suddenly they won 2-1, or they were winning 1-0, and they got another goal when the 3 strikers come on. And he's got the same armoury this year, but it's just not happening. And I think his choices now are going to be under question. That makes it even more difficult when you've got that kind of power from the bench to change the game. Sometimes the temptation is to do it early, and I thought he did today. 60 minutes, we had 6 or 7 offensive players on for Liverpool, and no balance to the team.
No, and it did look like Man United were the likelier two to score at some point. And you mentioned Harry Maguire, who's taken a lot of stick, a lot of flack over the years. Absolutely fantastic. Mr. Man United turning up once again to get them the 3 points. So let's turn our attention quickly to Manchester United, because in terms of Ruben Amorim's career at United, it's got to be his best day so far, Pards.
Yeah. Well, first, 30, who would have said 30 games and Man United to get back-to-back wins is taking this long? And he was quite right after the game to praise the fans who've stayed with him, stayed loyal, and they're brilliant, the fans at Manchester United. And they've got their reward, because I think he is worth standing by. I don't think all the problems lay at his door in terms of the system that was been thrown at him, and the fact that the results have not been the level that they should be at Man United. They're at a low place, and he's having to pick them up and drive with it. The front three look okay. I like the look of Cunha, and Bubo is a top player. He took the goal well today. There's a lot to like about Man United. I still think they're not really title contenders as yet, but they're certainly moving in the right direction. And for Amorim, his glass of Portuguese red wine will taste very sweet this evening.
Will this turn out to be a really bad result for Liverpool come the end of the season, Pards?
Well, it's just concerning, isn't it? 3 defeats. It took them 34 games, and this year it's taken them 8 to get 3 defeats on the ball. Now, when you want to be champions, and I go back to like trying to get promoted out of League One or the Championship. Losing games, every game that you lose when you're trying to win the title is so difficult. It knocks you back. And to have these 3 league defeats already is a worry. So it gives you the margins, which we know are always tight in the Premier League, to put you on edge. And so therefore, when you get near the end of games going forward, games you cannot afford to lose, you're going to get nervous.
Absolutely. Let's look at Manchester City. Of course, they got a 2-0 win at Everton. Wow, Haaland has now scored 11 Premier League goals this season. Mate, he's going to beat Shearer's record. As long as he stays at Manchester City, that record's his, right?
I mean, the stats are just incredible, aren't they, for him? And everybody's, this year particularly, he looks alive, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And even for his national side, he's smashing them in. He just looks like he's come to terms with Manchester City. He's comfortable in that role. Doesn't always be involved. There's lots of interplay around him. But when the chance pops up, he's ready to take it. I mean, he's a real kind of machine. And, that header, for me, is like, he's one of the few players in the modern game, in my opinion, who can leap 7'6" and smash a header in the goal, as a striker. And that's a lovely attribute to have.
Almost got a hat-trick as well.
Yeah.
It would have been, he scores so many hat-tricks, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Everton.
I like Man City, though. Do you?
Yeah, I do indeed.
Yeah, I like them this year. I think they got a real outstanding chance.
Everton on the road, obviously going to Man City losing 2-0, they haven't been particularly great. Home form seems a lot better, but yet to get the win. They won obviously against Crystal Palace, but they need to go on a bit of a winning streak at home, I think, Everton, and make that a bit of a fortress for me and try and,
Yeah, I think Everton, when you look at the league table, there's nothing about Everton's team that makes me think that they are going to threaten Europe. I think they're going to be in that mid-bunch. And when you look at that mid-table of the Premier League and you look at the bottom of the Premier League, there's nothing between them. And, we could be in for a bit of a shock at the end of this season because, we might find one of the big teams that we don't assume will go down.
Yeah.
And West Ham obviously looking very vulnerable at the moment. Nuno's got a big job there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'd agree with that as well.
Play tomorrow.
You look at Arsenal, set piece FC, some might be calling them, but it doesn't matter because people always say it. You know, if you want to go win the league, you win at all costs and you win all ways. Whether it's a 5-0 drubbing of Leeds at home, for example, or you go away to Fulham and you manage to get that corner and score. They do it again. Their set-piece coach needs a raise, surely.
Well, you know, they're just looking like a team at the moment that's functioning well. I mean, as you say, you wouldn't call them particularly attractive at the moment, but they're functioning well. 6 wins, 1 draw, one defeat. You know, it's the best record in the league as we stand after 8 games. But, you know, that old cliche about 10 games, let's see where we all are in 10 games. Because usually you do get a good feel of where it's going to all kind of end up. And at the moment, Arsenal and Man City are first and second. And I wouldn't be surprised after 10 games that that's exactly the same, with Liverpool right up behind them.
Arsenal have got some, you know, if you want to take it to the 10-game mark, you know, they've got in the Premier League, they host Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, of course. Managed to get that draw against Bournemouth. Great game.
But you know, in the last 17 games, they've lost 1.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're a team that nobody wants to play, and they'll be difficult to beat.
Then they go away to Burnley and then away to Sunderland. So all very winnable games for them. And I think after 10 games, we will see Arsenal probably at the top of the Premier League.
Well, we'll see. You say that, you know, it's easy to say, you know, they're going to get those wins, but you've got to get them. And that's about winning the title.
Arsenal are the only one team I look at and go,
you're a Spurs fan.
I know, but they're like
they're
bankers to win.
You got the tunnel vision of the Spurs fan to your rivals.
No, I look at those games and go. Normally, some people, it's not a banker, mate. They are at the moment. The only thing I'd say, we talked about Haaland. The juxtaposition of that is the 67. Was he about 67 million pounds? Gyökeres is now on a run of 0 goals in the last 7 for Arsenal.
I don't think that's not a concern to the manager and to the team. It will be, because you want him to score. I mean, you know, that's imperative. So even though you've won the game, it's like all the time in the Premier League, whenever I won a game, that doesn't mean to say I just went home and was super content. There was always a problem. There was always a worry.
There's always a problem.
There's always a problem. There is. There's like someone ain't scored, or you can tell someone's not on it. Or, you know, there's an issue you need to get right for the next game. So it never rests, football management, and that's the beauty of it, and also the hardship of it.
Liverpool, Arsenal, City, right now, who are best equipped to be successful in the Premier League and Champions League?
I don't think there's anything between them. I think it's going to be a really tight race, and I think we're going to be saying this with about 5 games to go. Who's going to win it?
I think you're right in terms of whoever wins the Premier League this year might lose 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, possible.
It's going to be a very different season. And I think, like you said, I think there's something to be said that the teams that have come up this year, I think 2 of them stay, at least.
Well, Sunderland, I mean, you know, hats off to Sunderland, particularly, you know, the Stadium of Light. They seem to have got that really revved up. And that was another great result for them. And, you know, that 4 wins, wow. You know, what I said to you about staying in the Premier League.
Yeah.
10 wins.
10 wins.
They only need 6 more.
Not bad at all, is it?
Yeah, got a great chance of staying in the division. 14 points already. I mean, the one team, and obviously we haven't talked about yet, is Nottingham Forest.
And we will be talking about that very soon. Coming up next, we'll be talking about Big Angie's tenure at Nottingham Forest after he's shown the door after the defeat against Chelsea yesterday. It's the final word on talkSPORT. Stereo MCs and connected our first clue of our mystery manager tonight. Stereo MCs from the city of Nottingham. And the second song was Green Day with American Idiot. Famous piece of clothing is the clue here. And song 3, Marching On Together by Leeds United. Come on, Leeds. If you think you know what's the answer, you can WhatsApp us on 03717 223344 or text us on 81089. Come on, Leeds United.
Come on, Leeds.
Got the Leeds. Let's look at the rest of the weekend's action, starting with Nottingham Forest, where Big Angie's 39-day reign at Nottingham Forest, says here we are, mate, came to an end just minutes after his side lost against Chelsea live on talkSPORT yesterday, and he leaves without winning any of his games in charge. talkSPORT understand that Sean Dyche, Marco Silva and Roberto Mancini are the main contenders for the role. For more details on that, head over to talksport.com. No wins in 8 games as a Forest boss. Pards, does he listen, this, I want your manager's head on here. You know, what's the LMA? The LMA. I want that. You're backing one of your people.
Okay.
8 games, is that fair?
Well, your average tenure as a football manager across all the leagues is 1.5 years, by the way. So it's not long.
No.
Has lasted, was it 39 days?
39 days.
Yeah. Cloughie, what was he, 44? Cloughie? Just thought I'd throw that in. Anyway, I want to just go back to Ange because it never seemed a good fit for me. The way his campaign was with Spurs in the league program, the fact that the way Nuno played, to then suddenly transfer to Ange, and that's been written about. All the nationals covered that today. But there is a stat that kind of is a little bit damning about Ange, and that is 31 defeats in 50 games in the Premier League he's had.
That's sore.
I mean, that is, I'm afraid, that the 2 clubs you're talking about, Tottenham Hotspur and Nottingham Forest, is just not good enough.
No.
So, okay, that's just park that for a minute. What will his feelings be? Well, in his press conference on the Friday, where he kind of said, the second year. Yeah, and the second year, it always ends the same, I win a trophy. He would have known the signs. So it was almost like I think he was almost like, standing his ground, in the line of fire, almost like a charge of the light brigade is coming.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand my ground. So he would have known. And as a manager, that the owner wouldn't have spoke to him, might not have asked him what the team is. Just they let you get on with it, right? The one thing that really sticks in my throat, and he did it, he's done it in my career, the owner, is to sack him 20 minutes from the end of the game, right?
What do you mean? You've had experience of this?
So I had experience of this myself because my first game in Greece was for a team called Aris, who are a big team in Greece. We had Olympiacos at home. It was a big game. James Rodriguez, remember him? Colombian. It was his debut. They're a proper team. I mean, really much better side than the side I was managing. But we managed to win 2-1. And their manager, I think he had only been there for a short period, like 8-9 games, was Carlos Coburn, the West Brom, ex-West Brom manager. A good manager, a young manager. And after the game, my owner, part of his process was to be on the pitch before the whistle ended. It was quite irritating. It was my first experience of it. So he was literally standing next to me when the game was ending. Anyway, as I sort of turned to him and congratulated a few of the players, I was walking off. He said to me, "Oh, the manager's sacked." Like, he knew. So I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He sacked him before the press conference. And the press all know he's sacked. So I said, "Has he got to do the press?" He said, "No, he probably won't do it." And obviously he's replicated that with Ange.
Well, I see a photo of Ange with a fan coming out of the game, smiling from the ground. Now, if I look at it as a Spurs fan, I think it was like around, was it August time? July, August? I think maybe July, yeah? That we sacked him and got Thomas Frank in. Now, there was a payout there from Spurs. Goes on a nice holiday, has a nice bit of downtime, sees his mate, thought, there we go, get a Greek fella in. Fellow Greek man gets him in. contract. No doubt within contracts there's some kind of, if you sack me, there's a payout.
Yep.
Paid out.
There's all different clauses on that though, and some are kind of related to how many games. Might be a year's pay, might be all the term of the contract. Whatever way, there will be a deal struck here, but it will be a payday for sure.
So he's probably in the last couple of months got about 7-8 million quid.
Possibly,
right? You ever been in a situation where you've come away, big payday after being sacked? How does that feel? Because this is how I can only imagine it. It's almost like winning the lottery because you don't have to work and there's a load of money, but it's your reputation. How's it feel?
Yeah, it is a weird feeling. Firstly, you're smarting because I don't think any manager feels it they deserve to. I mean, the only time I thought I needed to do a deal was at West Brom, where I knew it wasn't working. So we almost made a decision for us both. It wasn't working for me, it wasn't working for them, and we just cut a deal. There was no feelings about that. It was just a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got sacked at Crystal Palace, I thought it was incorrect. And when I got sacked at West Ham, I thought it was incorrect as well. Of course, they were both paydays for me in terms of my contracts were terminated and I got my pay. But my feeling and reputation was damaged.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that kind of split. There's half of you like, okay, well, that's a nice cushion. But, where does that leave me? And you get pundits come on. And this will be the problem for Ange, because for the next 2 days, Notts Forest PR machine will kick in.
Yes.
I see a little bit of it today in the press, kicking him to death. And as a manager, you've got nowhere to go because you've had to sign the contract to get your money. You can't answer any of those questions. You can't defend yourself. So therefore,
I think I even felt that.
Come back. That's why Ange, I think, got his defence in
early doors, yeah,
right, because he knew that's coming. And it bothers me about the LMA, who are my union, that they don't defend managers enough when they get sacked, or at least offer more than just a complimentary words. Oh, thanks for my time there. Thanks to the fans, etc., etc. To say something a little bit more defensive for managers.
Who do you think is going to be the best fit for the Nottingham Forest job going forward?
Sean Dyche.
Dyche?
I think Sean would be best because, firstly, he plays a very similar game to Nuno. He knows how to block teams out. He knows how to counter-attack. He's good at set plays. I think Nottingham Forest are weak at set plays. So that would be a benefit. Very, very similar ilk. And then get these new players who are not getting a game at the moment, try and get them revved up, try and get something out of them. I think the owner, he can be strong with the owner. I think Sean's got that personality to have some strength against this character, Marinakis, who's a very powerful man. And he's shown that, what's he had? 28 managers across his 8 years as an owner of 2 football clubs. Well, naturally, he's got 4 football clubs, so it might even be more. They're just sackings that I counted up, Olympiacos and Nottingham Forest. And some of them might be caretaker managers, so that might not be correct. But the stat's still not good. He cuts his managers quite quickly. I think Sean would be good for him and good for Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest fans must be really concerned tonight. 5 points, 1 win, 8 games.
Absolutely. And Nottingham Forest against Porto in the Europa League is live on talkSPORT this Thursday. Moving on quickly, I was there. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Aston Villa 2. The home form for Tottenham Hotspur, of course, overlaps with who we're talking about, Ange Postecoglou. I think 3 wins in 18, no good at all. Home form's a concern. I want to talk about the goalkeeper quickly because I've mentioned him already. It went viral, actually, last couple of weeks, some of the clips from us talking about Vicario. During the game, after that goal first went in, great goal by Rodgers, by the way.
What a week he's had.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the player, they're even tipping him to keep Jude out of the team. I mean, who would have thought that?
I know.
But, I mean, he was the one that I thought might come through this year to get into that World Cup squad team. And obviously, he's big mates with Jude Bellingham. So, I think that's really good for England. Really good.
During the game, when that first goal went in, our good esteemed colleague and former Premier League striker handful, Troy Deeney.
The SAS recruit. Who got to the final. Did very well in that.
Did indeed. Did a good old tear up with Tony Bellew, didn't he?
Although I see him on what's the quiz show 15 to 1 or whatever it is where they go round, weakest link. I'm sure I see him on.
Oh, really? He's about, Troy.
Yeah,
but he did
I
message
don't think
me.
he did very well on there. But anyway, go on.
He messaged me during the game and he went, keeper again, question mark, because we had the
did he?
questions. Did you think...
You know, strikers are good with keepers. They're good about keepers.
Because they know where they should and shouldn't be.
Correct.
So, looking at where Vicario's position is for that goal, he's off the line and he's not central.
Yeah, where it hits the back of the net would concern me as a football manager, because it doesn't look like it goes right in the corner.
It's not top bins, no. It's like above him.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually clip the bar, or it's kind of, it looks a bit soft. And when you and it is very difficult when the game is a fluid game to take a snapshot of a goalkeeper's position. It's sometimes a little bit unfair, but the snapshot of him when he's just about to strike, he's too far one side, definite. And I think he's actually a little bit high as well. He should be further back near his line, and therefore the hit is a good hit.
Is 100%. He's way too far over one side because, like you said, he doesn't even attempt to save the ball.
Yeah, so that's always a concern. If I was as a football manager, my first thing I would go to the coach and say, he didn't attempt to dive. Why didn't he dive? Oh, he couldn't see it. He was blocked. Well, why didn't he move his feet?
Yeah.
You know, why did he get himself in a position where he couldn't see it?
As a keeper, you should always be able to see the line of
but you
sight,
should
right?
always make an effort as well. I don't like keepers when they don't move. You know, sometimes when you see those free kicks and they're just stuck on the line, they don't even flinch. I think the only goal I've ever seen where I have absolutely agree with the goalie not to bother to move was Carlos's outside of the boot one.
Bartes.
When he looks like
he's going to the corner. Looks like he's going to the corner.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Still to come, before we hand the baton over to Danny Kelly on the Tragedy Express, we reveal who our mystery football manager is, and we'll go through your WhatsApp messages. It's to find out what on talkSPORT.
to make sure you're connected. The writing's on the wall.
The very best of the final word in 3 CDs with stereo MCs connected.
Don't wanna be an American.
Green Day with American Idiot.
Don't want a nation under the new media.
And for you football lovers, Leeds United with Marching On Together. This is the worst album you'll ever hear and is not available anywhere but the talkSPORT website. Go to talksport.com. Now you are listening to our montage of the 3 songs from our football quiz, which was stereo MCs connected, Green Day, American Idiot, and Leeds United Marching On Together. And the answer, Mr. Alan Pardew, was, of course,
is the one and only Mr. Brian Clough,
who only lasted 44 days at Leeds United,
but created the best Nottingham Forest side ever.
What was a 2-time European Cup winner for Nottingham Forest. First person to get that right was Stacky the Blue Nose.
Stacky the Blue Nose?
Stacky the Blue Nose. Yeah, absolutely. Right now, before we go to your WhatsApp messages, it's time.
Well, there's a few got it, wasn't there? It wasn't just one, was it?
It says here, that was the first person to get it.
Okay.
Before we go back to those messages, it's time to get all the latest from the US Formula One Grand Prix from talkSPORT's Tom Clayton.
Yeah, lap number 30, Max Verstappen leads this one. He is out in a commanding position, 10 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Lando Norris up to second place after a battle with Charles Leclerc for those secondary podium positions. Leclerc has gone on to box. He's come out of the pits with a fresh set of medium tyres and has been carving his way through the field. We're just starting to see some of those front runners come in for a change of tyres, so we'll see how the field shakes out after this. But it is no doubt today Max Verstappen is well on top, leading by 10 seconds into the second half of this Grand Prix.
Thank you very much, Tom. Right, it is a big week of European football ahead of us this week on talkSPORT, and apparently Chris Eubank joins us now to talk about this week's European football on talkSPORT.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, Chris, what's your thinking this week? There's some big games. The Arsenal got Atletico, Newcastle got Benfica, a game that actually I featured in the quarterfinal of the Europa League not so long ago, which was a classic game. I mean, what are you feeling, Chris? Where are you?
Well, it's Christopher Livingston Eubank here at your service, Sir Pardew, who, of course, I respect as a top pundit and manager. Liverpool, for me. Frankfurt.
Ah, yes.
They have to dust themselves off and try again. Only the real warriors.
A little bit like yourself, sir. I mean, you did have a couple of, well, not many defeats.
Not many, sir.
1 or 2, I think.
And I dusted myself off the canvas, got back up again, and my God, my done. You know, say when I'm speaking my mother's tongue, bad boy. My leg shut them.
Yeah, my done. What does that mean, Chris?
My done.
My done.
Sorry, I'm speaking my patois.
Patois.
Yeah, patois. It's my mother's tongue. But Liverpool, I'm looking at them for a comeback after a defeat to Manchester United today, who looked more like the old dynasty of Manchester United that I know well.
Correct.
And Tottenham Hotspur going to Monaco, a place affluent with riches. But footballing riches, not as much. But they did hold Manchester City to a draw, didn't they?
And they're actually a very good team at home, Chris. And it's very nice of your input. I would just like you to finish by predicting the Chelsea Ajax game, which I think is a slippery one.
Well, Chelsea Ajax is going to be a stupendous event. I do see the Chelsea getting the victory.
Okay.
And Jason Cundy being rather happy with that.
I'm sure he would be. It's very kind of you to come in very late in the evening here at 8:56 to come and see us.
Well, I'm actually here for the Trans-Europe Express. I prefer that show.
Okay.
Right, that's all from us today. But the talkSPORT Breakfast Show is back tomorrow from 6 a.m. with Jeff Steddin and Super Ali McCoist. But if you need some music in your life, go to the talkSPORT app and swipe across to friend of the show, Chris Evans, and Ryan
Taberty.
You know him, didn't you? The final word returns next Sunday, but coming up next here on talkSPORT, it's time for all the latest from across the continent on the Trans-Europe Express. For Madge and Pods.
Good night.